This is Oklahoma Inside Out, a weekly broadcast of Cimarron Alliance that focuses on the issues, culture, and people important to LGBT Oklahomans. And now, here is your host for Oklahoma Inside Out, Scott J. Hamilton.
Hi, welcome to this edition of Oklahoma Inside Out. I am particularly excited about today's broadcast because our guest is someone that I have wanted to have on this show for 3 years. And it's really an exciting time for me to be in the studio with our guest today. She is someone that is certainly familiar to our community because of her fabulous talent and equally because of her generous heart. All of the work that she does for so many individuals and organizations in our community. And it's going to be a real treat to talk to her and find out what's going on for her coming up just next week. So it's a great show, and I'm glad that you're with us here on Oklahoma Inside Out. I want you to sit back and relax as we interview a very special person in our community. We'll be back to do that right after this short break.
This edition of Oklahoma Inside Out is made possible through the generosity of friends and supporters like you. To support this program and the advancement of equal rights for LGBT Oklahomans, please consider making a generous gift today at cimarronalliance.org.
I promised a very special guest this week, and that's exactly what we are delivering. It is my pleasure to welcome to Oklahoma Inside Out the always fabulous Renee Hilton. Welcome to the show.
Welcome. Thank you.
All right, it's 8 o'clock on a Friday morning. I'm in here in shorts and a t-shirt and can barely get through my Starbucks. And you are in here looking fabulous as always. Do you just wake up this way?
Well, not really. After our Thursday night at the Boom of Trashy Thursdays, it's hard to get up, actually.
Well, you do look great.
Well, thank you.
I mentioned in the introduction that everyone knows you. You were actually the first drag performer that I met here in Oklahoma City. And I was surprised at how big the art is here in Oklahoma, because when coming from New York, where drag is not so big, and here where it really is, and competition is tight, but it's a wonderful community of entertainers who just give so much, and you just lead the way. And so I want to say on behalf of all of us, thank you for everything that you do.
Well, thank you. There's a lot of people in front of me that should be recognized before me, but I will stand up and take word for them. So,
well, and that's I'm glad that you said that, because when I said it's a community, it really is a community within the community, and I'm just incredibly impressed by the support that each of you give to each other. And speaking of support, let's talk about what's happening for you coming up next week in Nashville.
Well, yes, next week I leave on Tuesday, October 7th, and it's a 10.5-hour drive to Nashville, Tennessee, where I'll be competing, representing Miss Gay Oklahoma America at the national level of Miss Gay America. It starts the 8th and it runs through the 12th. Preliminary nights are the 8th, 9th, and 10th, and then I have Saturday night off, and then come back on Sunday to hopefully get into top 10 and compete one more time.
Well, I have looked at their website, and I've looked at some of the other contestants, and certainly the competition is going to be tough, Renee, but I have to think that you have an incredible chance of walking home with that crown.
Well, thank you, but I have a great package. I've had great mentors. Past Miss Gay Oklahoma Americas have helped me. People, entertainers throughout the community have supported me this last few weeks of just getting my prep work done a few benefits to raise some money financially for the expenses of travel and for the costumes. So
now, you mentioned drive as opposed to flying, and it makes sense when you told me just before the show that your gown is getting the last touches right now. Tell us again how much that thing weighs.
The gown itself right now is about 35 pounds. It's fully beaded and fully stoned. And it has a long train on it. So
35 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh! And you're actually having to perform in that.
Oh yeah, I have to walk around in a triangle and stay on point.
Well, you're gonna need a U-Haul just for that one piece
Oh
alone.
yes.
Who's going with you?
I have three dancers: Eli Medina, Billy Noble, and Brad Jason. And then I have two dressers: Jacob Gonzalez and Carmen Devereaux, which is one of our entertainers that is working underneath me and Kitty Bob Ames at the Boom. So she's actually going to get a glimpse of the national level at the Miss Gay America pageant. So.
Well, I think that stands to reason. You had that experience before, didn't you?
Yes, I went with Chantel Mandalay when she was representing Miss Oklahoma. And it was a great experience. I learned a lot, but we've moved on, and we're going to take matters into my hands. So,
Let's talk a little bit about Renee. When was Renee born?
Renee actually celebrated our 7th year anniversary in September. My partner, Armando Ortiz, also known as Maria Isabel, who is a very huge statue drag queen in this community also, put me in drag once and haven't stopped doing it since.
Is that right?
Exactly. And we just celebrated our 7-year anniversary last month in August, so.
I gotta give props to Maria, because I was doing a TV show and I needed quite a bit of help for that. And my gosh, talk about fixing me up with makeup that honestly didn't look like makeup. I mean, quite an artist.
Oh yeah, he works for Mac Cosmetics at Dillard's Penn Square Mall, so he knows his tasks. So.
He certainly does. So what's it like being in a personal relationship with another performer?
Well, a lot of people say it can't work out, but you set your drag aside and then you focus on your relationship. You really never set your relationship aside. You just take it back a step and then go and perform and then come back, and that's how it works.
You make it sound awfully easy, but clearly it takes some work, and you all have done well if you're celebrating 7 years.
Oh, yeah. This last week we had 2 huge benefits with each other. We did a benefit for me and his pageant give up for Miss Oklahoma FFI. So our house was in shambles for about a week, and it's just now finally getting back to where it should be.
Well, I want to talk more about the whole art of illusion and where in your background that spark was born. We've got a lot to talk about, including how our friends here in Oklahoma City can support you next week financially, because I know that it's going to be a tremendous financial burden for you. We've got a lot more to talk about, but first we're going to take a short break. Our guest is Renee Hilton.
Hi, I'm David Macy, a board member of the Cimarron Alliance, and I'm asking for your help. We work every single day to make life better for gay Oklahomans, now and for generations to come. But we can't do it without you. Please consider making a gift of just $20 a month to the Cimarron Alliance and be a part of our march toward equality. Visit www.cimarronalliance.org today and make your pledge. It's a gift you can feel good about giving.
If you rely on the daily paper and local television news for information about your local, state, and federal government, then you are only getting half the story. The Oklahoma Observer goes beyond what other news sources provide. In fact, we offer news, analysis, and commentary that you can't find anywhere else. As quickly as things change at the state and federal levels, we all need to know how legislation affects our community and ourselves. But how can we make sense of what's happening at the state capitol and in Washington? The answer is the Oklahoma Observer. We make the information and the impact on you easy to understand. This way you can make truly informed decisions about your elected officials, community, and family. If you've never read the Oklahoma Observer or haven't read it in a while, I hope you'll take a look. You might be surprised just how much help we can be to you. Visit us today at okobserver.net. Our only agenda is to provide critical news for critical thinkers.
Welcome back to Oklahoma Inside Out. We're talking today with the always wonderful, fabulous Renee Hilton. Just before the break, you mentioned that last week you and your partner did 2 benefits. I was just thinking, that means that you all need a ton of closet space in your house.
Of course we do, and we have one full room that's just Maria Isabel's, and then I have the garage. it's a one-car garage, but it's still packed full. So
Wow. I mean, that's because you need boy clothes and girl clothes and everything.
Oh yeah.
That's really something. You said a moment ago that that he put a dress on you and that was it, and you were off and running.
Oh yeah.
Had you ever considered doing drag before that?
I actually did. I started at the Rec Room, of course, but before that, my best friend, Jacob Gonzalez, also known as Sophie Adams, was an entertainer at the time. And I was always in the background helping him out, kind of like the wind beneath your wings. And I was assisting him and helped him through a Miss Gay Oklahoma America pageant where he won the Sasha Loren Beauty Award. For the first time that he competed, he won that. So I was very pleased to do that, and so that actually sparked my interest in the drag world.
So you grew up in the country. What's it like with your family?
Oh, they're very supportive. Actually, my parents came to my benefit the other night, and my father was actually selling the 50/50 raffle tickets, and he sold a ton of them. Like, he is a very hardcore businessman, but he knows when, things need to get taken care of. So. Wow,
that's incredible support. And that makes me very happy because watching you perform, it's a magical experience, completely transformative for your audience, because there is no question that who we're watching on stage is Renee Hilton. Do you ever find a conflict between your personalities?
Well, it's funny that you say that, because when I'm preparing myself into Renee Hilton, I go through that transitional period of getting out of the boy attitude into the drag attitude, and sometimes I can get a little mouthy. And when my friends are in the room watching me, I start joking with them, and that's how it gets into the Renee Hilton character. Sometimes it's a little dirty, and sometimes it's very clean, but I find that character in the middle. But it's sometimes difficult to get out of it.
I would think it would be too, but it makes sense that you would carry a good bit of your own personality into that. When you perform, what's the most gratifying thing to you?
Allowing or seeing people that are laughing, that are joking, just having a good time, because when you're out watching a show, we try to take the attitudes that you see in the daily life, like the negative attitudes, and allow you to step out of that realm and allow us to entertain you, to make you laugh, to forget your worries, to not be sad, And the majority of people in the daily life are having, problems with their lives. So we want them to feel secure and happy and know that we're a family and that supports them.
And I guess that's what I was saying about being transformed by your performance, because when I see you on stage, I'm not thinking about paying bills or what time I've got to be at the office in the morning, or it just kind of all goes away for those moments when I'm there. And you really connect well with your audience. I can say that from sitting in the audience, but it must feel that way to you. You must know in your heart how much of a connection you have with the people who are there to see you.
Well, I definitely feel that, and I hope that they feel the same way towards me too. So,
we, as a community, have gone through so many challenges, and there's been great focus on marriage equality this year, and rightly so. That's a very, very important piece of our puzzle. But there is much work to be done, even beyond marriage equality. When you see young people who are coming from a small town, or perhaps here in Oklahoma City, who have a challenging home life, and I'm using that term pretty broadly, what advice do you give to them?
Find an outlet. Find somebody you can talk to. Find your friends. Don't get boggled down by the negative part of life. Find something that makes you happy. Figure out a way to work around it. Ask for help. That's all I have to say.
Those are wise words from someone who has clearly navigated that role quite well, and that road quite well as well. If we have people in our audience who want to contribute to your trip, how do they do that?
They can drop donations off at the Boom, open 6 days a week from 4 to 2. If you can Facebook me at Renee Hilton on Facebook, I would greatly accept anything, even if it's like food to feed my dancers. That'd be great because I can't let them go hungry. So.
Well, we've got a lot more to talk about, and we'll do that after this short break. Our guest today is Renee Hilton.
Hi, I'm Lorette Taylor, past chair of Cimarron Alliance. I joined the board because I believe in the vision and the work of this organization. We're working every day listening to the concerns of our community and helping to address those very concerns. I hope you will consider supporting Cimarron with a gift. Even $10 a month will help. Working together, we really can achieve equality for all gay Oklahomans. Please visit www.cimarronalliance.org and make your gift today.
If you rely on the daily paper and local television news for information about your local, state, and federal government, then you are only getting half the story. The Oklahoma Observer goes beyond what other news sources provide. In fact, we offer news, analysis, and commentary that you can't find anywhere else. As quickly as things change at the state and federal levels, we all need to know how legislation affects our community and ourselves. But how can we make sense of what's happening at the state capitol and in Washington? The answer is the Oklahoma Observer. We make the information and the impact on you easy to understand. This way you can make truly informed decisions about your elected officials, community, and family. If you've never read the Oklahoma Observer or haven't read it in a while, I hope you'll take a look. You might be surprised just how much help we can be to you. Visit us today at okobserver.net. Our only agenda is to provide critical news for critical thinkers.
We're visiting today with Renee Hilton and learning a bit about her experiences working in Oklahoma City and now getting ready to head to Nashville for a very, very important week. Tell me what you're going to be doing for your talent.
My talent is what I won talent at Miss Gay Oklahoma America. It's a mix of a wild party, the Andrew Lipper version. I have 3 backup dancers, all in solid white tail tuxedos, and I am in a white fringe flapper costume. Lots of lifting, lots of flipping, and lots of dancing.
So that tells me that when we see you on stage, there's a whole lot of time spent preparing that we never get to see.
Oh, most definitely.
It's really, you're putting on a full show when you perform, and that includes hair and makeup and costumes. And those are the things we see, but we never think about the choreography. We never think about all of the other people involved, and it's really a production.
Oh, yes. The Oklahoma City ballet headmaster, Miss Roxy Hart Jakob Spasso, was one of my choreographers along with Kelly Caliente Forbes, and we collaborated together. Roxy's been working with us every rehearsal, nitty-gritty pieces. We had a new dancer that had to fill in for one of the dancers, so we had to reteach him all of the choreography. But he's got it, and I feel very comfortable, and as long as the Oklahoma City ballet headmaster's got it, or she feels comfortable, I feel comfortable.
Well, that's awesome. We should also mention that you are going to be, this will be a first at a Cimarron Alliance Equality Month Gala. You will be appearing at the gala and serving as mistress of ceremonies for part of that evening, and that's very exciting.
I'm very excited to be there. So.
It's going to be a fun event where we've truncated the program part substantially because we tend to try to get a whole bunch of stuff in. This year we've made it more minimalist, and we're also including dancing this year afterwards, so there will be a DJ. But just having you there is going to make it for a fun evening and very, very special.
Well, I'm just going to have to find a new gown.
Bring the 35-pound one.
Oh, right.
What advice would you give someone, Renee, who was interested in perhaps exploring drag on their own?
I believe that there's a lot of sources out there to follow. Go out and watch people. Go out and take notes. be a younger queen or an older queen that respects this drag community, because if it wasn't for the respect or the older drag queens that we've had, like Ginger Lamar, that has paved our way as entertainers, you know, more accepting, you know, I'm going into a public place in drag for the gala. That hasn't been allowed in many, many years in Oklahoma City. But with Ginger paving the way for what we're doing now, it actually is very accepting. But drag queens, younger or older, need to respect and study and go out and watch and support.
You said respect, and I have to tell you that it's with great respect that I look upon the entire drag community here, because I'm just grateful for the way that you all hold us together, and especially with your rising leadership. And know that from all of us at Cimarron and the entire community here, we wish you an incredible week next week, and just our best wishes and lots of love for you, Renee.
Well, thank you so much.
It's been such a pleasure having you. Will you come back and visit with us again on the show?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely.
I'm going to count on that. And next time you don't have to wear quite such a beautiful gown and show me up right here in the studio. Our guest today has been the wonderful Renee Hilton. What a treat for me to be able to have this opportunity, and I hope it was for you as well. I want to say thank you to the incredible volunteer time that all of our folks spend here at Cimarron Alliance working for equality every single day. Thank you to the technical director of this broadcast, Siali Sialsi, Cimarron Alliance board co-chairs, Catherine Primus and Allison Coffey. Jimmy Chavez is our volunteer coordinator, and our announcer is Lisa Pizzieri. I hope that you have a great week, and tell your friends about this show, and I'm going to count on having you back again with us next week. Until then, I'm Scott J. Hamilton, thanking you for joining us. Hang on to the vision of a fair and just Oklahoma.
Oklahoma Inside Out is a production of Cimarron Alliance, Central Oklahoma's preeminent LGBT advocacy and education organization. If you have a topic you would like to hear discussed, or a person who you would like to hear interviewed, please call 405-495-9300 or email oklahomainsideout@cimarronalliance.org. Please feel free to share the link to this broadcast with your friends.